Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like the game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Yeah, it was 1995, and Tupac had just got out of jail. The town was buzzing. It was like, Tupac is back, like everybody, anticipating on what he gonna come out with, how he gonna respond to all of the stuff that been going on. And Chris Tucker had been doing did 4 shows at the Pantages Theater, and I think this night was his last night performing there. And they had an after party at this place called the SIR Theater on Sunset, and all of the celebrities were there. Pac was there, Suge was there, Dre was there, Drew Down was there, Rappin' Forte, all of the cats from the Bay Area. A lot of the cats that hadn't seen Pac yet, since he had been out of jail. So, they came down. Like I said, I had heard about the concert. It been buzzing all over L.A., on the radio and the whole 9 yards, and all of the concerts were actually sold out. So it was like the hottest ticket in town, if you could get one. So like I said, we were there, everybody going, piling to the SIR Theater, drinking, smoking, dancing, the music, and like I said, it was kind of like I would say it was kind of like a celebration for Pac too, because like I said, a lot of people were there like they hadn't seen him since he'd been out of jail. Yeah, so as the night went on, Pac was in a good mood, everybody was festive, celebrating, drinking top-notch, smoking top-notch, the best weed, everything, and so people started leaving. It was about 12:30, and everybody kind of started leaving. So the front door, how it was made inside, it was like a hallway, and then you had you go leave the hallway, and then you go inside the actual place, like the little ballroom or whatever that they had, the party was at. So when you came out, everything kind of got quiet, and they had chairs sitting out there, and it was straight ahead was the front door to Sunset Boulevard. And on the back end, it was on Sunset and Ogden was the side street. It's now Bank of America now. So you leave out the back door. But little beknownst to everybody else who wasn't really ready to leave yet, unbeknownst, should I say, to everybody else who wasn't ready to leave yet, the front doors were actually locked. They had them chained. And so, people who found that out, everybody had to leave out the back door. And then Pac and them had their limousines and stuff like that. The limousines dropped them off and so on and so forth. But when everybody came in, they actually came in the front door. But later on, I guess the custodian guy locked the front doors. So as we leaving, actually Dr. Dre, he was leaving. He was leaving, and I seen him leaving. I'm like, yo, if Dre leaving, this shit is about to be over, because shit just go down. Sometimes, at a party, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes you just want to leave early because shit just go down, right? So, and the back door, when you leave out the door, they had push bar doors, like in high school, like when you push the bars and you leave out. But when you leave out the door and the door shut, the door actually locked. So as Dre leaving, I kind of, leave out behind him, not directly when he leave out, the door shut. Boom. Then I push the door and leave out. So as we leaving out, when we get outside, you hear pat, 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 pat. You hear gunshots. And Dre, he jumped in the bushes because it was like bushes to the left of the building. Then it was like a glass enclosure where you can kind of see back inside the place. You couldn't see inside of the hall where things were going on. It was like a glass. And Dre jumped in the bushes, right? And I'm like, yo, there wasn't no room for me in the bushes. So I get down and I'm like, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? And you couldn't see, you could hear the gunshots, but you couldn't see where they were coming from because it was like a brick wall. So when you walked down the stairs, it was a brick wall to your right. It was the bushes to your left. So you couldn't really see. And it's like, you hear the gunshots. The motherfuckers was close. So it's like, okay, boom, get down. So I get down and I'm like, and I look in the bush. I'm like, yo, it's like I'm just banging on the motherfucking door. Like bang, 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 bang. So I'm banging on the door. And then all of a sudden, Suge come out the party. And he, walking normally, not rushing or nothing like that, because I don't think, they could hear it, because the music going on inside where they were at. So he come and he opened the door. He was like, "What's up, homie?" I'm like, "These motherfuckers out here shooting." And then Dre come out the bushes, and then I think, Suge and some other people come out behind Suge, and Suge's like, "Yeah, they say the homie said somebody out there shooting." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I guess, he rounded up the troops and, let everybody know. And then like the security and the stuff that the people that they were with, kind of started rallying around everybody, rallying around Pac and the whole 9 yards. And it was more about, Pac and making sure he was safe than it was about anything. Like I said, everybody else was kind of cool, but, the security was like mostly around Pac and Suge, you know what I mean? And Dre, should I say, you know what I mean? But like I said, Dre had came out the bushes, like I said, wasn't no room for me in the bushes, but like I said, we were scared as a motherfucker. So we had to wait. Somebody had to call the custodian guy to come open the fucking front door because you couldn't get out the front door. So we had to wait a while. So everybody was in there just waiting, you know what I mean? Just kind of kicking it still, we inside. Nobody really, too bad. Like I said, the security's around, they got guns and shit on them. So, shit is kind of like the heightened senses are up, so we waiting. So everybody poured towards the front of the building and we waiting. And all of a sudden, I would say about 15, 20 minutes, the custodian guy come and he opened up the motherfucking front doors and everybody kind of like, poured out into the night. The cars and all of that, the limos and stuff like that came up. But everybody was driving and everybody, drove off into the night. But I had told Tupac, I said, yo, that's that shit you be rapping about. When he talked about the song Me Against the World, was like, he said cowards shooting guns in the sky, jeopardizing lives. Look them right between their eyes, you know what I mean? Follow the rules or follow the fools that die. The shit about what he did as an artist, man, he rapped about real life. So at that moment, that's what came to my mind, is that song that he did on Me Against the World. And I think he did it, it was a song that he did with Richie Rich, Heavy in the Game. Yeah, it was Heavy in the Game where he said that. So, it was a crazy night, man. Like I said, Suge came and opened the door, and it was one of those nights. And I felt real thankful that night because, like I said, you just didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know if the dudes was going to come around the corner and start busting the guns. You didn't know if they was chasing somebody or nothing. The police never even came. So, like I said, if Suge came and opened the door, and it was like I said, it was definitely a relieving a moment in my life. Like I ain't never been that scared before. Like I said, and Dre, he jumped in the bushes. I would have been in the bushes with him, but wasn't no motherfucking room in that motherfucker. Dre was a little bit bigger than he is now. He all healthy now. So, yeah, that was crazy. Now that was one of those nights, man. Like I say, after the Chris Tucker last show at the Pantages Theater at the after party, and it was like I said. Other than that, it was a phenomenal night, man. It was a great night. One of those days like in L.A. Like I said, Tupac wasn't. He he had 11 months or something like that, 9 months or something like that. He was still, he was out of jail before he got killed. So, yeah, it was crazy.